We knew the consolidation was possibly going to mean cuts, but not the draconian cuts that are occurring at the Shelby County Suburban school level. My Germantown schools performed an analysis that shows cuts of up to 473 positions. Of those positions, 178 of those are teaching positions, which is exactly what was feared by the suburbs, and is what we're here to ask the County Commission today to put a stop to that type of cuts in the suburbs. With that, I'll turn it over to Keith. Actually,
I'm Carr Kelsey with the Citizens Charter. We're parents here today from the Shelby County schools, and we are deeply concerned. We're deeply concerned about the budget cuts that are occurring for the Unified School Board. These cuts are coming at the school level, and this is again deeply troubling. So we're here on behalf of our kids, so that we will ask the Shelby County Commission to drop its lawsuit and let us move forward with municipal schools. This merger has been sold to us on a lot of broken promises. The broken promises have been talking about world-class educational system, while at the same time saving taxpayer dollars through economies of scale. They've also promised there wouldn't be any changes at the school level, and this is not what's occurring. It's in fact the opposite. The Transition Planning Committee has concluded that school-level resources are going to be diminished. The Transition Steering Committee with Tim Setterlin has just come out just last week with the same conclusion, that their cuts are coming to the schools themselves. So instead of going from world class, we've now gone to second rate. Instead of talking about how we can enhance our schools, we're talking about how we're going to cut our schools. And instead of launching our kids into the future for success, we're talking about hindering them in the 21st century job market. And so these budget cuts, in my opinion, these budget cuts are not what the people of Memphis even voted for. And these are for sure what the Shelby County voters have feared would come all along. So there's not a parent in Memphis or Shelby County that wants to see the quality of education diminished whatsoever. And so we're simply asking the Shelby County Commission to quit playing politics with our children's education and our children's future. It's time to stop the lawsuits, to drop the lawsuits, and let us move forward as municipal schools. I'm going to turn it over to Ken Hoover from Germantown.
And I'm going to echo exactly what Carr just said. What's new? Why are we having this press conference today rather than a month ago or a year ago? What's new is last Monday, the school district, for the first time, unveiled preliminary looks at the budget. And Monday and Tuesday, many of you were at the listening tour, or at the listening sessions, listening to parents talk to the school board. There's no difference between suburban parents and city parents, Memphis parents, on this question. Nobody wants to see school level cuts. The TPC did their work, blue ribbon panel, and they concluded that consolidation would lead to school level cuts. It's recommendation number 140 in their plan. Tim Setterlin and the best and the brightest of the combined district staffs did their work over many months and reached the same conclusion. Consolidation will result in school level cuts. Nobody wants that. There's only one path that prevents school level cuts, and that's to open the door to municipal school districts. We're here today to ask the County Commission to step aside, remove the barricade, lay down the lawsuit, open the path to municipal schools, and permit the maintenance, not enhancement, permit the maintenance of the level of service being delivered in the county today. Without dropping the lawsuit, we're at grave danger of that not happening.
Even if the lawsuit is dropped, though, last year's legislation was ruled unconstitutional. Wouldn't you have to have new legislation?
Last year's legislation with respect to the fast track was ruled unconstitutional. Norris Todd is still the law of the land. So if they drop their lawsuit, when the consolidation is complete on the first day of the school year, which they've passed a resolution that would be July 1. So as of July 1, we could reconstitute our school board, begin the process of hiring a superintendent, and get ready for the 2014 school year. We will be unified for 1 year. But if we know that municipal school districts are in the future, then these questions of adopting new staffing models and leveling up salaries, those questions can be answered in a different way than they are currently being answered, and you eliminate tremendous amounts of pressure that's being applied to the budget today. That's the $200 million you hear about. It's the pressure that comes from consolidation.
Is your analysis here a middle ground that if the County Commission does not drop the lawsuit? Is there
No, I've got copies for all of you of the analysis we did that arrives at that 400 plus figure, and Mike gave it to you earlier. The 443 positions eliminated, that's not a middle ground. That's a school by school calculation of this many assistant principals, this many classroom teachers, this many librarians. What you're going to hear when you talk to the school board folks, and perhaps some of the county commissioners, is you're going to hear that, oh, well, that was the first pass at the budget. There's a new budget coming tomorrow. There is a new budget coming tomorrow. It's going to add back $10 million at the school level, which will give us back about 70 positions. At that point, the cuts are 377 school-level positions: teachers, teachers' aides, assistant principals, guidance counselors. Going from 440 to 370 is like telling me I'm not going to cut it off right below the shoulder. I'm going to give you almost to the elbow. It's still a crippling blow to the delivery of education. Any other questions?
Are you afraid to make the lawsuit that you're expecting to hear a ruling on in the next couple of days, maybe? Are you afraid that that lawsuit's going to rule unfavorably?
No, I'm not afraid of that. The news tells us, and all I know is what I read in the paper, that the state legislature may work with us. Our point is this: we should not have to go to the state legislature to get the county commission to say we're for children, we're for students, we're for kids, we're for maintaining a high level of education. The best and the brightest, blue ribbon panel on the TPC, best and the brightest at Shelby County Schools and Memphis City Schools have said cuts are inevitable. Municipal schools give us a way to avoid that. And we're asking, begging the county commission, really just two commissioners, to change sides on this question, and let's start building instead of tearing down.
Which two?
Which two? I'll take any two.
Start with Sydney.
Man, the cowboy hat would be great.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Ken. You know you're locked in for a year regardless.
That's correct.
Right.
All right. What are you going to make of that year? I mean, are you going to be a positive force in making that year with a unified school board, or are you guys just going to say, you know, just get through it and we'll be working on the next year?
Well, all along, if you come to Collierville, there's parents in the classroom reading. And my wife went to read at the classroom today. There's parents in the lunchroom. There's parents that are involved. And I'll tell you that none of that's going to decline whatsoever. Our parents care about our kids future, so none of that's going to decline. It's going to be up to the Unified School Board to hopefully at least enhance and quit cutting, making these cuts to the level of education that our kids are accustomed to and they deserve.
I think you also need to realize that if we're successful today, what we're trying to preserve is 473 jobs. So, you know, that's 473 Shelby County jobs that this commission can help save.
I've had one commissioner said that the cost of you starting your own schools would be the same as.
That's Commissioner Mike Ritz.
Well, I mean, so what do you?
Right.
No, it
Commissioner
wasn't.
It wasn't.
No.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, it's proven that the Unified School Board doesn't have enough money. Their system or their model that they're offering does not have enough money to come up with. But our towns or municipalities have voted overwhelmingly that we want a municipal school district, and we're willing to pay for them.
We also don't agree that bigger is better. That's been our message from the get-go. So we don't necessarily agree with his cost estimates.
What was the end of your question, Concha?
no, I just wanted to know. I mean,
Commissioner said that starting municipal school districts would be expensive.
It's the same as, you know, you're looking at a budget gap now, but you would also have to spend a lot of money to start your own school.
That's the pressure that comes from consolidating, this pressure to level everything out. If you eliminate that pressure, and to Les's question of operating for a year, we would know that we're only operating for a year. So this has got to be the same as that. We would probably be able to say that doesn't make sense. Why make these dramatic changes only for a year? Once you let that pressure off, the budget gets much, much easier to manage.
Once you ask them to do this and they say no, where do you go from there? Do you head to the legislature and look for help and relief from where you got it before?
You know, as citizens groups, we may not be in control of the suburban mayors going to the legislature. Of course, we all know that's underway. But if that's the decision, with no results here, we would continue to support our suburban mayors, yes.
Can refresh my memory. There have been multiple plaintiffs in some of these suits. Is the commission the only plaintiff in this current suit?
The commission is funding the suit. So if the funder exits the suit, everyone else will leave with it. There's nobody else willing to put up the money. And it's been a large amount of money up to this point. There's nobody else willing to put up the money to pursue the lawsuit.